Greetings from Real Life. This is Engineer Jasmine from Real Life TV. So today we are here to share knowledge and awareness of environment as we are part of the celebration of UN World Environment Day 2021. The theme is ecosystem restoration. To discuss this important topic, we have a very special person with us today. So let me introduce the speaker. She's a professor, engineer, Mrs. Niranjani Ratnayaka, emeritus professor in civil engineering, University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka, and 43 years of teaching experience. And she's a chartered engineer and a fellow member of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, and the past president of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, and member of the International Water Association. And she's also a environmental impact assessment professional. And also, she's the current president of the Institute of Environmental Professionals Sri Lanka. So welcome, Professor Ratnayaka.
Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you for the invitation. Happy to be sharing my knowledge, whatever I can.
So Real Life Sri Lanka provides lifelong learning experience with timely important topics and contents to direct you toward a sustainable lifestyle and also to protect the environment. So today we are here to share this knowledge. So let's discuss. And I will ask you this in the beginning, because we are now in the 21st century with the technology development, and people have more equipment, knowledge, and awareness about everything around us. So why are ecosystems more important than ever?
Yes, Jasmine. This year's theme for the World Environment Day is ecosystem restoration. You are asking me why ecosystems are more important now than before. I think ecosystems have always been very important for maintaining a healthy planet. But now we have realized how badly human activities are actually damaging the ecosystems. As you know, an ecosystem consists of all the living things, that is the plants and animals, and non-living things like the soil, water, air, minerals, dead plants and animals, and so on, and their interrelationships in a particular geographic area. When all ecosystems on the planet are taken together, it is called the biosphere or ecosphere. The biosphere is a closed system without any inflow of materials from anywhere. And so the biosphere has to manage all the materials within itself. Humans are a very important part of the biosphere and the ecosystems, as much as the air, water, minerals, and the plants and animals that are within the ecosystem. So we have to manage with whatever is available from the plants and animals and the non-living things like the minerals and materials. And we do that when we eat our food, when we have our housing and other infrastructure, leisure and entertainment, medicines, and all other needs are taken from the ecosystems. An ecosystem needs a balance in its components for its stability. Drastic changes in this balance due to external stresses will damage the ecosystem, and the services provided by them are then affected. So human population, as we were saying, is increasing, and our life is becoming more and more sophisticated, and the needs and wants of the population is increasing day by day, resulting in a heavy stress on the limited resources available for the survival of all living things, not only humans. With the rapid advancement of technology and development taking place in the world, the per capita resource consumption is actually skyrocketing. And as a result, the competition for the resources is really affecting the balance in the various components of the ecosystems. if we do not take steps to conserve our ecosystems and restore the already deteriorated ecosystems, we will soon run out of food, water, and even clean air. That is why we say that looking after our ecosystems and restoring them is very, very important, is in fact crucial for our survival uh, at present.
Yeah, that's, I really like that you're saying that, say we are also as a human being part of this biosphere and part of the ecosystem. So
Yes.
most of the people take actions because they think they are a deviate from the ecosystem. So we say that we are also part of this ecosystem. We have to support and protect the environment and think about the ecosystem very seriously. So how can we engage to protect the environment and sustain the ecosystems?
Well, we must be able to derive the services provided by the ecosystems without over exploiting them. Ecosystems are like the geese that lay the golden eggs, you remember? They provide us with all the services provided. We consciously take what is available without over consuming and minimize the negative impacts on them by providing the necessary environment to grow back what is taken from them for our needs. So, that is the principle on which we can actually act to restore or make the ecosystem keep providing the services that are needed for our existence. Uh, so we should not be over exploiting or polluting or damaging the resources that are available to us. So water, air, and soil pollution should be prevented so that the plants and animals can grow. If we cut down trees for using for timber or for land for our needs or whatever, we must grow more trees in the same location if possible, or if that is not possible, at some other location. We must protect the catchments that provide water to the rivers, streams, and reservoirs, as these are drying up due to deforestation and water quality is deteriorating due to the discharge of heavy domestic and industrial waste loads. So, we should have the reforestation programs in the catchment areas and take action to stop the discharge of untreated domestic and industrial waste into our water bodies. Because there is a certain assimilative capacity for these water bodies. If it is overloaded, then they cannot purify them and provide the clean water that we need for our own survival. Solid waste dumps are another huge problem caused by us that degrade the ecosystem quality by polluting the water, air, and land. We must promote separation and recycling of recyclable waste, composting and producing biogas from biodegradable waste, introduce circular economy concepts to the industries so that the waste is reduced and the waste from one industry can be used as a raw material for another industry. That's what we call the circular economy. You try and reduce to the maximum the amount of things that are going out of the cycle and reduce the disposal as much as possible and recycle, treat, the whole works of waste management. Those are the things that we should be doing. We should really do it now or never. It has really come to a very bad situation now.
That's not only the industries and the other organizations take these initiatives as their corporate social responsibility, but as an individuals, as a person, community, we have to also be mindful when we take our actions for the day-to-day living, and how do we reduce our waste and to protect this environment. Thank you very much for that explanations in very vast to the different segments. And now I'm going to ask about this concept called ecosystem by ecosystem concept, right? So explain your views and guidance to protect the forests, rivers, oceans, towns, farmlands, and mountains.
Yeah, as I said earlier, an ecosystem is a geographical area which can be isolated often by natural boundaries, like rivers or mountains or some other the watershed areas. So like that, the natural boundaries themselves are the ones that are the best boundaries for isolating an ecosystem. And so when you take the ecosystem like that, the system includes everything in it: the plants, the animals, the humans, and the soil, the air, the water, and any other minerals, the dead plants, everything that's within that geographical area. And also when you say the system consists of even the interactions, interrelationships between the various components of the ecosystem, taken as a interacting system. So an ecosystem by itself may not be self-sufficient. There will be material inflows and outflows. Uh, Whereas, as I said, the biosphere, when you take all the ecosystems together, we don't have any materials coming in, except for a random meteorite or something that comes onto the earth. We don't get any resources such into the biosphere, but individual ecosystems can be interdependent, and they are in fact interdependent, and there is material movement between the ecosystems. So but for when you are considering ecosystem by ecosystem, as you said, uh, we take them as ecosystems because it's convenient to study the ecology of these systems rather than taking man-made physical boundaries like roads or walls. So we categorize the ecosystems into terrestrial or land ecosystems, which are also called biomes. Then we have so under biomes we have forests, grasslands, agroecosystems, and urban ecosystems. And then we have the aquatic ecosystems, like the marine ecosystems in the sea and oceans, and freshwater ecosystems on lakes and rivers. So these ecosystems ha- have unique characteristics to them, and the interactions that are happening in these may be specific for that particular ecosystem. Marine ecosystems, for example, can be ocean or coral reefs or estuaries, and the things that are happening in them, the plants and animals that are living in them, the people who are making use of those ecosystem services uh, will be different.
So I just wanted to interrupt you in this moment with this terrifying incidents in the ocean recently. In the Sri Lankan Marine Protection Authority said that microplastic could cause years of ecological damage to the Indian Ocean and
Yes,
the island.
yes, yes.
So can you explain this situation as well?
Yeah, actually, the microplastics that they're talking about are these plastic pellets that have been, transported from one place to another for as raw materials for the plastic industry. So the problem there is actually they may not have much impact as a chemical. However, the they will do physical damage, like covering up uh, the coastal
Coral reefs
areas, and
yeah.
then preventing the growth of plants and animals on the coastal areas. As well as, the worst thing is that they will get into the uh, fish and other fauna, the animals that are
Species.
in the water, and then they will uh, get, one thing is they will kill them
Yes.
for by suffocating or by blocking their guts, because they can get into the gills or get into the gut. And the long term effects, we really don't know what's going to happen, because it might affect once it's inside the body of the uh, fish or the animal, we don't know what's going to happen. It might get absorbed into the system, and then it might bioaccumulate, or it's a very big question, and that's probably why they're saying that it will be generations. It will take generations to see the impacts, the full impacts, because if it's going to change the genetics of the animals, we don't know what to expect actually. So that it's really scary to think about what can happen. At the moment, I think they don't have any
So
conclusive evidence on what is going to happen. But
that's why we wanted to take actions prior to avoid such kind of a terrifying events and protect our ocean and our entire the environment with all supporting ecosystems. So
yeah,
I just wanted
accidents
to
do happen. Accidents do happen. You can, I mean, but try and be prepared for the accidents is what we can do, because one thing is to make sure that they are minimized, but then again, preparation for accidents is how we should be, can, I think, try and prevent the damage caused by accidents.
yes. So is it too late to change now? And do you think that we still have a chance to restoration of ecosystems?
Um, I don't think so, because as you pointed out right at the beginning, this year's theme for the World Environment Day is restoration of ecosystems. So if it is too late, we can't be talking about restoration. So we do have a chance if we act now. And according, if you look at the all this the the news and the messages that are coming from the international organizations like the UNEP, they think of you all, the younger generation, as the ones who can act to reverse the process. We need to reverse the process. We need to reverse the process of ecosystem deterioration and start restoration. So we are actually supposed to be losing a huge amount of plants and animals every day, every year. Uh, they become extinct, so we'll not get them back. So we can't reverse the clock, rewind the clock, but at least we should, if we take action now, we can stop the process of extinction by looking after the ecosystem, restoring the ecosystem, so that at least what is remaining will survive. And so the thing is, we should provide the right environment for the ecosystems to grow back. That's what we should be doing by things like, you know, uh, growing trees, greening our cities, rewilding our gardens, not make them so prim and proper with all these synthetic uh,
Fertilizers and
chemicals and all that, and just let it go a bit wild, and changing our diets, be more conscious about eating organic food, and uh, preventing the uh, overuse of agrochemicals, and cleaning up the rivers and coasts. So these are some of the things that we can do, and we, in the sense, we our generation seems to have failed actually. So it is up to your generation to uh, restore and try to prevent the damage, further damage to the ecosystems.
mhm. So suggest a few more how we can take the initiatives from as professionals and the advisors like you. So you can support the younger generations, of course, as well as we can actually support our upcoming the future generations to aware about this importance of protecting the environments and how we can actually take the day-to-day lifestyle change towards this protecting the environment. So what are the choices that you would suggest furthermore for the upcoming and future generations?
Yeah, I think one of the main thing is to understand about how ecosystems work, how important each of our actions is on the way it either deteriorates the ecosystem or enhances the ecosystem. And to understand that ecosystems are the ones that are actually supporting life on Earth, the things that are happening in the, the plants, animals, and the how they interact with each other, how, where the food comes from. And for example, we think of food as plants and animals, but then we must realize that plants are the primary producers. If we don't have plants, we won't have the animals, and therefore we will not have food. Animals can't grow without the plants. Plants are the primary producers, and the things like that. By understanding what goes on in nature, it will help us to look at restoration in the proper way. So I think the most important thing is to make people aware of how things work. Few centuries ago, people knew how, and you can see that they even thought of the plants as divine, because they understood the way things work. And but then now I think we have forgotten, or we have ignored the uh, the importance of having the ecosystems working properly. So some of the actions we can take, maybe to look after the wetland ecosystems, because they are supposed to be the most wetland ecosystems are one of the highly productive ecosystems. Uh, uh, they do a lot of services to the humans as well as the nature. So look after the wetland ecosystems. Avoid the use of plastics is something that we should try and do. At least the one-use plastics we should reject. Then recycling and reusing as much as possible, so that the waste disposal is minimized. Reducing the use of energy, we can do that actually, and go for uh, solar energy, and without going for renewable energy, rather than going for the using hydrocarbons. And reduce the use of water, paper, and other resources. Managing the waste, eating the right foods, and using products responsibly, so that the impacts on the environment is minimized. So these are things that we individually we can practice, as well as organizations we can do.
Yes.
And of course,
So
awareness creation is mostly can be done by institutions like your organization. I think you're already doing it. Real life,
yeah,
you're
you are
encouraging the organic farming and all that. That those are the good things that you can do to restore the ecosystems.
So we are so inspired by these local partner organizations and institutions and communities that we work alongside to feed the minds and change our lifestyles towards a sustainable future. So together we are delivering the environment projects to prevent and halt and reverse environmental damages to local ecosystems and rural communities by providing training to local farmers for organic cultivation best practices, and while encouraging them to promote their learnings and sustainable cultivation best practices to their families and their upcoming generations and networks. So together as a real life network, as
Great
you
work
are,
actually you all are doing. I
and you
really
are also one of the honorary ambassador of real life. So we as individuals can help the Earth's ecosystem and heal and assist rural communities to strengthen their food security and livelihoods. So we actually wanted to inspire people to take the individual actions and be mindful their day-to-day lifestyle practices to protect the nature environment, and think like you are also part of this biosphere. So what is your final message to the professionals, institutions, students, and everyone to celebrate this World Environment Day 2021 during this COVID-19 and the global pandemic situations that we are struggling to come out with? So what is your message?
Yeah, of course, in the face of the COVID-19, the global pandemic that has come up, uh, I think it has given us a chance to look at things um, in a different perspective. When the COVID-19 came, the first wave came in last year, everyone sort of stopped working. Industry stopped, and air travel stopped, and transport stopped. So we could see how clean the air was, how the animals were, finding it very uh, easy to get around, and the nature took over, like. But then, as soon as things became a little controlled, we went back. So that is not really what we should be doing. We should try and learn from the lesson of COVID-19, and take life a little more seriously, little more uh, be a little more concerned about how damaging we are to the environment, how humans are damaging the environment, and then try and reduce our impacts. uh, and So I would say the message is, let us be much more conscious of and sensitive to our actions on the environment or the biosphere. We need to restore the ecosystems for survival, our own survival. If we do not act now, it may be too late. For that, we need to understand how we can help restore the damaged ecosystems. Let us take the responsibility for what we do, not just by celebrating the day as the World Environment Day, but by making a commitment to take corrective action every day. I think that is the message that we can
Very powerful message,
spread.
madam. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to recall these quotes just now from Mother Teresa, and we all are aware that she was a very kind person ever, and she won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979. So her saying that I wanted to recall: I only feel angry when I see waste. Only when I see people throwing away things we could use. Most of the people are responsible of their waste, but few throw it away and pollute the environment as we experience in the day-to-day, right? But you may raise voice against pollutions and environment in social media and in the public, and also raise your fingers to the high end of the industrials and chemical processing organizations. But as an individual, we all should take our responsibility. So take actions individually. Let's work together to protect the earth, because we have no other choice. We have no other planet. Let's reduce, reuse, and recycle with the concept of 3R, and protect our environment for the future generations and also for our survival. So we have come to the end of the session. And thank you, Professor Niranjani Ratnayakar, shares her insights and valuable advices and the suggestions with us for entire public to have a sustainable life practices to protect the environment. And the awareness of this World Environment Day 2021, honestly, it is not, as you said, just a one-day celebration, except one movement, I would say. The moment we all breathe. The moment we all breathe, we should celebrate the nature, environment, and be mindful and protect the environment with the greater gratitude to the nature. And it will be the best ever gift for our upcoming and future generation. So must thank you, madam, for your valuable time and we are also part of the ecosystem in this earth. So let's celebrate it. And thank you for all the listeners today. And we wish you everyone a healthy, long life with happiness. Stay safe and stay blessed. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Jasmine, for giving me this opportunity to share a little bit of the little bit that I know. So, yeah, thank you, and wish you all the best.
We'll meet up again with another topic. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed.